Hidden within maps and mountains, there's a post box that's technically its own country, a mountain that splits two nations down its spine, and a border so twisted it loops like a labyrinth. Welcome to the wild world of geography's greatest puzzles. From South Africa's Tripoint, where three countries collide in a single sunrise, to exclaves trapped in foreign soil, these facts will rewrite how you see the world, one mind-blowing border at a time.
Did you know a single town is officially split between Belgium and the Netherlands? Welcome to the world's most confusing postal code. The town of Baal is split into over 30 enclaves, some just 20 feet apart, and each is in a different country. It all started in the 1300s, when a noble family from the Netherlands granted land to a Flemish farmer, and that land ended up inside their own country. Over time, more land was exchanged, and the border became a patchwork, with Belgium and the Netherlands swapping tiny plots like pieces of a puzzle. One house in Baal has its living room in Belgium and its kitchen in the Netherlands, with two different postal codes and two different tax systems. You can walk from Belgium to the Netherlands by stepping into your neighbor's backyard, and you might not even realize you've crossed a border. What's the weirdest border in your country? Comment below, because geography just got a whole lot more confusing. Did you know there's a post box so high it's above the clouds? It's in Bhutan, at 27,000 feet. This incredible post box is located in the remote village of Luggi, deep in the heart of the Himalayas, one of the most isolated places on Earth. Only a few hundred people live within 100 miles of this post box, and reaching it means climbing over rugged terrain and crossing high mountain passes. Despite the extreme altitude, this post box is the only one in the region, and it's still the fastest way to send mail for hundreds of miles around. Letters sent from Luggi can take up to 20 days to reach their destination, but they travel faster than any road or airstrip in the area. This post box is part of Bhutan's dramatic mountainous terrain, a country where nearly 3/4 of the land is above 6,000 feet. So, what's the most surprising geographic fact about your country? Comment below. Did you know Bhutan's only border crossing with India is through a tunnel carved into a mountain? This tunnel is 700 meters long, about the length of 7 school buses. It connects the Indian town of Phuentsholing to Bhutan's capital, Thimphu, the only official road link between the two countries. Before the tunnel was built in 1962, people crossed via a dangerous footbridge over the Sankosh River, which was washed away multiple times by floods. The tunnel was built with help from India and the United States, and it's still the only road link between Bhutan and the outside world. If you walk the entire length of the tunnel, it would take you about 20 minutes, and you'd be walking through one of the world's most unique borders. Did you know your country has a geography fact just as wild? Did you know you can drive from east to west across an entire country without crossing a single border? This is possible in just one place on Earth, Bhutan's Sarpang district, a rare geographic anomaly. Sarpang stretches over 30 miles from east to west, making it the only district in the world aligned perfectly along that axis. Because of this unique alignment, you can technically drive from Bhutan's easternmost to westernmost point, all within the same district. And here's the kicker, Bhutan is the only country in the world where this is possible. No other nation has a district like this. If you drove the entire 30-mile stretch, it would take just under an hour, and you'd never leave the same district. So, what's the weirdest geographic fact about your country? Comment below. Did you know you can cross for borders in one single day, all in one district? Welcome to Sarpang district in Bhutan, the only place on Earth where this is possible. Here, the borders of Bhutan, India, China, and the disputed territory of Arunachal Pradesh all converge. The area is less than 50 miles wide but connects for sovereign regions, a geographic miracle. You can walk from Bhutan to India in under an hour, and just a few miles away, you're near the Chinese border. This tiny district is bigger than the state of Delaware, and yet it holds the world's most unique border configuration. Ready to explore your own country's geography secrets? Comment below with the weirdest border fact you know. Did you know there's a country completely surrounded by another, and it's been like that for over 150 years? Lesotho is the only country in the world entirely enclosed by another, and it's not a colony, it's fully independent. Lesotho covers about 11,000 square miles, all highland terrain, with the highest point over 11,000 feet above sea level. Despite being landlocked and surrounded, Lesotho has its own government, army, and even its own currency, the Lesotho Loti. Lesotho is also home to the famous Malatsuniane Falls, where the river plummets over 400 feet into a deep pool below. Lesotho is bigger than New Jersey, but you've probably never heard of it, and that's what makes it so fascinating. So next time you look at a map, remember, there's a whole country hiding inside another, and it's been there for generations. Did you know the deepest lake in the EU is shared by 3 countries? Welcome to Lake Constance. This alpine gem plunges to a staggering 1,600 feet deep, deeper than the Eiffel Tower is tall. It lies on the borders of Austria, Germany, and Switzerland, a rare natural boundary shared by 3 nations. The lake covers 240 square miles, that's bigger than the city of New York. But here's the kicker, it's so clean you could drink the water, and in winter, it freezes solid. That ice creates a natural bridge between countries, a winter wonderland where borders disappear. What other geography secrets does your country hold? Comment below and let's explore together. What if a place so small it fits in a football field is its own country, twice? Welcome to Lechigin, a tiny piece of land in Azerbaijan that is just 20 feet wide and 25 feet long. Lechigin is an exclave of Nakhchivan, which itself is an exclave of Azerbaijan, making it the world's smallest exclave within an exclave. This bizarre geography is the result of centuries of territorial disputes and shifting borders between Russia, Turkey, and Persia. To visit Lechigin, you must cross 2 international borders, and it's only big enough for 2 people to stand side by side. If you walked from one end to the other, it would take you just 10 seconds, but the journey to get there could take hours. What other impossible geography facts does your country hide? Comment below. What if a country stretched from steamy jungles to the roof of the world, all in just 120 miles? Bhutan's lowest point is just 20 feet above sea level, right in its subtropical southern plains. But just 200 miles north, the country soars to over 29,000 feet, into the heart of the Himalayas. That's a 10,000-foot elevation change, all within a country just 120 miles long. And here's the kicker, you can drive from the jungle to the Himalayas in under 2 hours. That's more vertical change than anywhere else on Earth, in a country smaller than Maryland. Now tell me, what's the most extreme geography in your country? Did you know a city in Belgium is split into 1,200 tiny pockets of another country? Welcome to Baal-Hertog, where Belgium contains 23 Dutch exclaves, some so small you can't even walk through them. Each Dutch enclave is completely surrounded by Belgium, some are as narrow as 20 feet, making them more like islands than neighborhoods. The history goes back to the 13th century, when land was divided between noble families, and the borders just never got fixed. The border is so complex that even locals use a special map to know which country they're in at any given moment. And it gets stranger, you can cross from Belgium to the Netherlands and back again just by walking 1 block. Now you know, Belgium has a city inside a city inside a city. What's the weirdest border in your country? What if you sailed 26,000 miles without touching land? This incredible route starts at Pakistan's Gwadar port and ends in Russia's Murmansk, all on a straight line across open water. The journey crosses the Indian Ocean, the Atlantic, and even the Arctic, all without a single major port in sight. You could sail non-stop for 26,000 miles and never see a single port, just open water and ice. That's longer than the distance from New York to London and back, twice. And scientists still can't explain why this path is so completely untouched by human ports or shipping lanes. What's the most surprising geography fact in your country? Did you know one country has two official capitals, and both are in the same city? Welcome to the Netherlands, the only country in the world with two official capitals, Amsterdam and The Hague. Amsterdam is the seat of the Dutch Parliament and monarchy, while The Hague hosts 25 international organizations, including the International Court of Justice. Despite being just 25 miles apart, these two cities serve completely different roles, and both are officially recognized as capitals. The split dates back to the 16th century, when Amsterdam rose to prominence as a trade hub, while The Hague remained the political and judicial center. And here's the kicker: the Dutch government intentionally keeps both cities as capitals to balance power and prevent over-centralization. So next time you look at a map, remember, the Netherlands is the only country with two capitals in the same city. What's the weirdest geography fact in your country? Did you know a sliver of Austria is trapped between Switzerland, Germany, and Liechtenstein? This tiny region, Vorarlberg, is the only part of Austria that doesn't touch the rest of the country. To reach the rest of Austria, you must travel 30 miles through foreign territory. The closest point to the Austrian mainland is just 26 miles away, but it's through Switzerland. To travel from Vorarlberg to the rest of Austria, you must pass through 3 different countries. No direct land route exists. Vorarlberg is only about 1,000 square miles, smaller than Rhode Island, yet it's completely cut off by geography and politics. Did you know your own country has a hidden border oddity? Comment below. What if I told you there's a country completely surrounded by 2 other countries? It's true, and it's the only one in the world. Nakhchivan is an autonomous region of Azerbaijan, but it's separated from the rest of the country by Armenia. This 2,000 square mile region is surrounded by Armenia on 3 sides and Turkey on the 4th, making it a true closed exclave. It's the only sovereign territory in the world that's completely enclosed by 2 different countries, a unique geographic anomaly. Despite being landlocked, Nakhchivan has fertile plains and ancient history, including some of the world's oldest winemaking traditions. If you drove from one end of Nakhchivan to the other, it would take about 2 hours, and you'd never leave the region. So, what's the weirdest geography fact in your country? Comment below, and let's see who has the most mind-blowing location. Did you know the longest straight border in the world is between the United States and Canada, and it stretches for 20,000 miles? That's right, the Canada-US border is the longest straight-line land border on Earth, and it was surveyed in the 19th century using just a compass and a chain. The border runs through some of the most remote and untouched wilderness on the planet, from the frozen tundra of Alaska to the dense forests of northern Ontario. Because it's so straight, it's almost impossible to see the border from the ground, and it's so long that you could drive from New York City to London and still not reach the end. The border is so long, it's bigger than the distance from New York to Los Angeles, and it's mostly unguarded, running through some of the most peaceful and remote regions on Earth. And here's the kicker: if you drove the entire length of this border at 60 miles per hour, it would take you over 330 hours. That's more than 14 full days of driving. So next time you look at a map, remember, the US and Canada share the world's longest straight border, and it's wilder than you ever imagined. What if you sailed straight for 20,000 miles and never hit land? This incredible journey begins in the South China Sea and ends in the North Atlantic Ocean, all without touching a single coastline. The straight-line voyage passes through 22 countries, all by sea, without ever setting foot on land. You could sail from the Persian Gulf to the coast of Norway in a straight line, and never touch land for the entire journey. At an average sailing speed, this voyage would take over 6 months, covering more than twice the distance of Earth's circumference. That's more than the distance from New York to Australia, and it's all by sea. Now imagine, what's the most mind-blowing geography fact from your country?